There's this broader conversation going on about police killings of civilians, sometimes armed, sometimes unarmed, a variety of different cases. And according to a Wall Street Journal report, there are hundreds of police killings every single year that are never reported to the federal government and included in the reporting on police killings that comes out every single year. The FBI is missing about 25% or more of the police killings in the United States. How is this happening? I'll tell you. The Wall Street Journal analyzed data from 105 of the largest police agencies in the country and compared the figures that they have to those provided by the FBI. More than 550 killings between 2007 and 2012 were never part of the FBI totals, killings that were on record at the police department level. Specifically in these jurisdictions, the Wall Street Journal tallied at least 1,800 police killings. However, only 1,242 had been reported to the FBI. That leaves 558 police killings. It's almost like they don't exist. One of the major causes for this discrepancy is that many local police agencies will not report homicides that are considered justifiable homicides to the FBI. As the Fairfax County, Virginia Police Department said, such killings are not actually an offense. If it's a justifiable homicide, you don't really have a crime on your hands, so they're not reported to the FBI. And of course, many of these justified homicides are being done by police officers. We keep track of almost everything in this country, Lewis, but we just can't get the FBI the right numbers as far as how many people are being killed by police. This is horrible, and it is drastically distorting our perception of how much of a problem this is.
Yeah, anytime someone's got over a certain amount of drugs, you can be sure that the FBI knows about that, but killings somehow slip under the radar. I mean, I don't need to tell the audience why these numbers are important, but at least we still have, at least we still have the real numbers that we can get from certain places.
Let me give you one specific example from the Wall Street Journal piece. 24-year-old Albert Jermaine Payton in Washington, D.C. was shot and killed in 2012. His mother witnessed the killing, said the police knew her son, were well acquainted with her son, who apparently suffered from mental illness. As he approached police that day holding a small utility knife, they fired reportedly dozens of times, and he died soon after. This is an example of a homicide that, according to the local police department, was a justifiable homicide by police. It thus was not reported to the FBI. Do you think, Lewis, that hearing the details of that story, that's a story that we don't need to have on record at the federal level? That's not a story that should be reported to the FBI? Apparently, local police departments believe it should not.
Yeah, I think, didn't we cover this story? I'm pretty sure we did cover this story when it happened.
We may have.
It sounds very familiar, but yeah, of course, this is something we need to know about. We need to know about every single one of these instances because, it's just part of the bigger picture. We need to know.
And then when you consider that many of these justifiable homicides by police are happening in poor and minority neighborhoods, by underreporting these to the FBI, you then have reporting from the FBI that drastically underestimates the disproportionate police violence that's taking place in poor neighborhoods, in minority neighborhoods. So you might say, well, we can still get the data. Well, okay, we can get it. But when it's absent from federal reporting and federal data, it starts to be used to paint an inaccurate picture of what we have going on in many of these areas.